Exotic locations, dazzling action sequences, and a thrilling spy quest. Ethan Hunt is back and ready to take on his biggest threat yet. Hey everybody, Alex here for Nerdy Inc. coming at you with a review of Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. We are 5 movies into the franchise now, and while most series would have begun their descent into schlock and gimmicks, Mission Impossible manages to improve with each new film. Writer-director Chris McQuarrie manages to cherry-pick the best elements from each entry into the franchise while subverting many of the cliches and pitfalls in which the other films have followed. Rogue Nation is by far the most unique and unpredictable film in the series thus far. Unpredictability is important here too. The series is built on 11th hour turncoats, plot twists, and betrayals from people who we were meant to believe were on Ethan's side. The problem with that is that it's no longer a twist if every movie does it. Then it's just a thing you're expecting to happen. Rogue Nation avoids this by showing its hand early on, even in the trailers. Rather than waiting to the end to say, "Ha! This character's a bad guy," the film shows its hand early on and says, "This character's a bad guy, but are they really bad?" It's an excellent change to the formula that ultimately furthers the capabilities of the film. By having us question the uneasy relationships between the characters, the movie exchanges hopeful shock for an extra dose of tension. We're on our toes more than ever, and as momentum builds, and when we reach the climax, we're on the edge of our seats. Playing around with character loyalties results in more than just added suspense, too. The earlier films boiled down to, Ethan Hunt is good, those guys are bad. They were fairly black or white, and the betrayals saw characters either aligned with the black or the white. However, this film gives us a little more middle ground to explore. The film shows us that people can want the same thing as Ethan Hunt, but not approve of his plans or tactics. Yes, viewers will ultimately be able to identify into which camp characters will fall, but along the way we're reminded that there can be more than one way to tackle a problem, and Ethan Hunt's way may not be the best. As mentioned before, the movie avoids many of the cliches that defined its predecessors. There are no fake-out deaths, no over-the-top end-of-the-world stakes, no nameless MacGuffins that are left unexplored. The film takes the time to establish the rules and it follows them. Believe it or not, it's a smaller-scale story, as the Syndicate is an off-stage puppeteer rather than a spotlighted puppet. It's a subtle villain with a subtle threat, which adds to the unease and paranoia. This can all be attributed to the film's stellar script. McQuarrie delivers us one of the most nuanced and complex scripts since the original film. The MacGuffins are explored, motivations are fleshed out, loyalties are questioned, and the action feels organic. Nothing in the film is cut and dry, but nothing's convoluted. It's the perfect balance of intrigue and mystery to keep us invested in the film. The primary reason these complexities are relayed to the audience so well is that Chris McQuarrie wrote and directed the film. It's one of the more seamless transitions in the summer blockbuster season. Every piece of exposition and all sarcastic quips are relayed in step with the action on screen, a feat that can really only be accomplished so flawlessly when a clear image of the final product is in the writer's head. This is especially clear in the second act, when action and exposition is at its most pivotal. And that action? Well, it's awesome. From the fantastic opening sequence to the amazing fights and chases, every single scene is engaging and entertaining. Furthermore, the use of practical effects made the action even more believable. There was really only one shot that I thought looked fake, and I won't mention it because I don't want to ruin it for viewers, but as a whole, the action felt very believable. The shot of Ethan hanging off the side of a plane, featured on the posters and in all the trailers, occurred in the opening scene of the movie, which was fantastic because it didn't spoil the end of the movie. There have been a lot of complaints from moviegoers these days, even we've talked about it on the site, about trailers giving away the biggest and best parts of the film. Thankfully, the trailer kept most of the later action under lock and key, so once the film was nearing the final climactic fight, I had no idea what to expect. While the action is great, the acting is good. Not amazing, just good. After all, it's an action movie, not a character study. These films have never been about diving into Ethan Hunt's psyche or breaking down the mind of a spy. They've been about how a team of agents overcome impossible odds to save the day. So while Ethan goes up against his smartest and most challenging foe to date, the character doesn't undergo any major change, which is fine because that's never been the focus of the series. All in all, the film was a resounding success. It was different enough from the earlier films to avoid falling into the same traps, but familiar enough to fit with the tone and spirit of the franchise. It's the best of both worlds, and one of the reasons why the franchise is continuing to be as good as it is. The fantastic effects and exotic locations keep the film engaging and exciting, the story's tight, and the stakes are unique. It's a perfect summer blockbuster and an amazing film to experience, should you choose to accept. But those are just our thoughts. Do you have thoughts of your own? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, for more games, comics, movies, and more, keep it right here on Nerdy Inc.